Yes, how are the kids?
They are fine, thank you.
Yes, sir.
How many sugars? 2.
Good morning, everyone.
Come in the circle, please. You like my hair, I like your hair too. All right.
So, my name is Tsingi. I'm a sexual health advisor. This is a really relaxed chat about HIV. Feel free to ask me anything.
For women, when it comes to sex, we don't really talk about it. So it's a place we don't no-go areas because we've never been taught ourselves back home.
When I was in school, we had sexual health classes, and because they didn't really want us having sex, so I didn't really get told what HIV was. I just got told if you got it, you died.
Yeah. Even talking to the girls is hard.
It is.
I know many people who just, even myself, who just say, don't worry, tomorrow, before you know it's their wedding day.
Yes, it's a taboo subject within our cultures.
We don't hear about it.
That's why we're having this conversation. We're here to break the barriers that are there in place at the moment. Yeah.
What is different between AIDS and HIV?
So HIV is a viral infection. If it's untreated and undiagnosed for a long period of time, and then you start getting complications with your health, that's when it starts becoming AIDS.
When I was younger, when people had HIV and AIDS, they would run and hide, and the next thing, they would be at their deathbed. I lost lots of aunties and uncles, and their children were orphaned, and there's a lot of bitterness and anger around having HIV and AIDS.
Thankfully, nowadays, most people manage their HIV very well with taking medication, and people can live really long and healthy lives.
So I used to work in a hospital. There was one gentleman who was HIV positive, and he was in isolation room. To help him, you have to wear a lot of things, gloves and all that. Is it still happening if somebody is positive?
The reason they would have done that in the past is because they didn't have clear research or knowledge on how HIV was transmitted. You won't be able to get HIV through casual contact, hugging, kissing, shaking hands with somebody.
How are you going to know about it if you have it or you don't have it?
So for somebody to find out, they need to get a test. We encourage people to be testing with new sexual partners, or if they know that their partner has other sexual partners. Don't leave it up to that person. You go and get your testing done. You both should test. The sooner they can find out if you are HIV positive, the sooner you can start treatment.
How effective is the treatment?
If taken correctly, it's so good that somebody who's HIV positive won't be able to pass it on.
Okay.
I've seen how effective HIV treatment is. I've had a friend who was HIV positive, and she started her treatment straight away. She also has gone to have some children, and the children were HIV negative.
Now, if your partner is HIV positive and untreated, there's options now. There's a medication called PrEP that will make sure you stay negative.
I thought it was a thing of the past. So I could have contracted it not thinking of protect yourself with HIV or whatever. Yeah.
It wasn't something
I could have been a statistic.
There's a lot of things we should have known, but we don't. It's good now that we know.
It's important to mention
We don't talk about it at all.
We have to.
Yeah.
You kind of need to try and get yourself in a mindset where you're like, I want my child to have more knowledge than what I had. I want my child to be empowered enough to know there's these preventative measures that they can put into place. I don't think there's a teenager out there that wants their mum to sit them down and say, so let's talk about sex. But I have had to be the aunt that steps up and says, let me tell you A, B, C, D, E. This is what could happen.
Yeah. Now, if we go home, I'm sure there will be a way to actually sit our girls down and talk about these things.
Yes.
Access to information made the difference to me. I know how to protect myself. Yes, and how to explain to my children how to be in a safe sexual relationship.
I'm so happy that I participated in this group. It made me to understand that there is prevention in order to stay negative. So I can advise someone that is afraid.
Tell them it's okay. It's not bad to have the HIV, but it's okay. You can still live normal.
Only last week, we received the news about my relative who's got HIV. My heart did not go, like, that's the end. I was like, okay, so what do we do next? When we were children, you used to be so afraid when you had that because you knew somebody was going to lose a parent. But I didn't feel frightened. And I know there's medicines out there and you can still live a full life. So not to be afraid, I think, is the biggest thing.
For me, what's really positive is we're all here now equipped with knowledge, In this room, can you imagine how many people we come into contact with, be it through church, be it through the work that we do, where we can share this information? So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you now to all stand up. Let's go. Let's go.